Time now for our Sunrise Smart Start. Last year, the economy growing faster than it has in decades, recovering from the pandemic. The number of jobs added has far exceeded expectations, and wages for workers are growing too. But now the challenge will be getting a handle on inflation without negatively impacting the job market. We are joined by Washington correspondent Alexandra Limon, live in D.C. this morning. Alexandra, good morning. So how does the Biden administration plan to curb rising inflation rates? All right, it appears that we have lost our signal with Alexandra. We can see her, but apparently she cannot hear us. What we can tell you is that the administration is working with leading economic advisors as they evaluate those rising inflation rates and the threat of those rates on the economy. More on that story here later today on News 8. In the meantime, the administration is also addressing this. The top science advisor, Eric Lander, resigning after allegedly bullying his staff, according to an internal investigation. Lander says his resignation will take effect no later than February 18th. Diplomatic talks are heating up in an attempt to stop a potential Russian invasion of Ukraine. President Biden meeting with Germany's chancellor yesterday to talk about the situation. Those talks focusing on energy, with Germany heavily reliant on natural gas from Russia.
We are closest allies and working intensely together, and this is necessary for doing the steps that we have to do, for instance, fighting against Russian aggression against Ukraine. So it's an important meeting at a very, very important time.
Germany, the U.S., and other NATO allies are working on a package of economic sanctions against Russia. U.S. officials telling CBS News Russia has the capacity to capture Kyiv in a matter of days if it decides to invade. Now to the latest on COVID-19, with hospitalizations down some 15% across the nation. The CDC says daily death rates have jumped nearly 30% in the last 2 weeks. Health officials say this concerning trend is fueled by the Omicron variant. The U.S. death toll has also passed another grim milestone, with more than 900,000 COVID-related deaths since the beginning of the pandemic. New York State's mask mandate is set to expire later this week, unless the governor renews it. In the meantime, many are voicing concern about how they want to move forward with business and schools. Erica Cost live this morning with more on this. Erica, good morning.
Good morning, Mark. And the governor is expected to make an announcement on this tomorrow, and it's unclear whether she will renew or not. But as you mentioned, many parents, business owners are expressing if they want her to renew it and play it safe or leave the choice up to them. We spoke to a business owner who says depending on where you go, the mandate may not be enforced. It is causing confusion for some. Some people have moved on despite the governor putting a temporary stay on a court order to pause a few weeks ago. Parents in some areas like Pittsburgh are planning protests this week for the governor to act fast on schools. But the governor says it's as simple as wearing the mask for now. Her biggest fear is driving those numbers up.
It's kind of hard to really enforce it. Everybody doesn't know what's going on, whether to keep them on, take them off, go to the table, take it off. They don't really want to do that. They're kind of over it at this point.
The governor says the decision to renew or not will rely solely on data, COVID-19 data in our region. And right now, she says those numbers are trending in the right direction. In Rochester, Erica Cost, News 8.
Erica, thank you. And we should mention the mandate for school districts is set to expire on February 21st, unless it is extended before that time. Let's get a look at the numbers. 499 people are currently hospitalized with COVID in the Finger Lakes region. That is 141 fewer than a week ago. 73 patients are in the ICU. In Monroe County, 34 new COVID-related deaths were reported. They occurred between January 19th and February 3rd. 180 new cases were also reported during yesterday's update. Having a look at the morning forecast with James Gilbert, and temperatures that are fairly manageable for this time of year.
Yeah, definitely. Just the winter jacket. You don't need that layer necessarily underneath the winter jacket. Starting off right around 30. If you're closer to Lake Ontario, you're a touch warmer, 31 in Greece, Fairhaven, out east at 32 degrees. Walworth, 28. South Bristol, 24. Penny Ann, 23 in Yates County. Next 24 hours will hold pretty much where we're at, maybe bump up or down a degree or two, and then we cool off. Overnight lows in the teens, some 40s in the extended forecast. We'll take a look at that at the end of the show. Mark.
All right, James, thank you. Let's take a look at the roads right now with our sunrise traffic. An accident in Henrietta. We've been telling you about this one for about the past half hour or so. It's 390 north right near the thruway. And then another accident in Irondequoit, 590 south at Empire Boulevard. So some issues there. Take note as you head out the door at this hour. In other news, Rochester police are investigating after a 21-year-old man arrived at the hospital with a gunshot wound. It happened around 6:30 last night. Police describing the victim's injuries as non-life-threatening. A location for the shooting has not been determined. Police also investigating a robbery at a gas station yesterday morning. Officers responding to the quick fill on Hudson Ave just before 9 a.m. We're told a man threatened the store clerk with a handgun and stole an unspecified amount of money. Anyone with information about this incident should call 911. RPD investigators investigating what officers are calling a suspicious death. Officers say a body was found near the intersection of Glendale Park and Hastings Street around 8 o'clock yesterday morning. Police tell us that victim, who has not been identified, was about 60 years old.
We're knocking all the doors down here. We're checking for any cameras, any witnesses, anything along those lines to figure out what exactly occurred.
Well, again, a cause of death has not been determined in this case. If you have information about what happened, please call 911. Local first responders are reminding snowmobilers to stay safe. This comes after a person was taken to the hospital after their snowmobile went into the Erie Canal Sunday. Experts say riders need to be cautious and familiar with trails. Many instructors advise against riding on ice, adding follow signage and wear proper gear. Snowmobilers should also be aware of rising temperatures as we approach warmer weather. Let's get a look at the GRE Morning Business Report. The two biggest pharmacy chains in the U.S. are removing limits on how many over-the-counter COVID-19 rapid tests people can buy. Previously, CVS limited customers to 6 testing kits amid a shortage of tests as the Omicron variant raged. Walgreens capped people at 4, whether buying in-store or online. Now customers can buy as many as they want. The IRS wants to help you with your taxes, even on Saturdays. The agency will offer walk-in help at 35 tax assistance centers across the nation. They are only available on 4 Saturdays starting February 12th. This Saturday, the agency said it's part of a larger effort to help taxpayers this filing season. Keep in mind, it's already facing a huge backlog of unprocessed returns from last year because of the pandemic. Apple reportedly gearing up to launch a lower-cost 5G model iPhone. According to Bloomberg, the company is aiming for an unveil around March 8th. A new device would be the first update to its SE model in 2 years. Apple is also reportedly planning to reveal an updated iPhone Apple news ad, this iPad, I should say, this spring. All right, James, please.
Yeah.
Come in and rescue me right now.
Yeah, sure, certainly. We like to use our phone to check radar.
We do, and the News 8 app, I might add.
Yes, always a good tool. And maybe before we get on the bus stop, with sunrise 7:18, snow showers around this morning. Note that the pickup and return home temperatures are the same. Yeah, we'll be right around 30 degrees for both this morning as well as this afternoon. Could be bouncing around in the upper 20s there as well. 8-day forecast on your screen now. Tomorrow, getting into the lower 40s. Cold front moves through. That could bring some snow showers by Thursday. And definitely a cold weekend. I think next week maybe a little bit more active than this week.
All right, James, thank you. That does it for us for now here on News 8 at Sunrise. Our next update coming up in 30 minutes. CBS Mornings is up next. Have a great Tuesday.